It's the voice of the one and only DJ Scream, letting you know that you are now in tune to the Casual Flex, where culture meets sports and casuals are welcome. Now here's your host, Phillip Dukes.
I'm your host, Phillip Dukes, aka Dukes the Scoop. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Dukes the Scoop. Some of you may know me. Some of you may know me from my work on 24/7 Sports, CBS Sports, Twitter, Instagram. You may know me from a few different places, but definitely happy to be here. Happy to get back started. And as a disclaimer, my thoughts and opinions do not reflect those of CBS Sports. This is a totally separate entity. 24/7 Sports either. This is me. This is all me right here. And let's get into it. So first and foremost, before every show, I'm gonna give you some Auburn. All right, I got you. That's just we're gonna get into some UGA, some Falcons, some Braves, some National, some Hawks, you name it. We'll get into it all. But I gotta start with Auburn. Okay. Now, Auburn is coming off of a lackluster victory over Missouri. And a lot of people are calling it the worst Auburn win in a long time. Now, a lot of people are saying, like, how do you have a bad win? It was a bad win, right? Missouri probably should have won that game multiple times. You got one of the most trusted field goal kickers in the nation. Over 750-plus yard field goals, right, which is huge in the college game. He missed probably a 10-yard field goal. I mean, if you can have a 10-yard field goal, it was that bad, right? 17-yard field goal, 18-yard, extra point range, right? Misses it with the game on the line. All right. They find a way to win the game as the running back is approaching the end zone in overtime. After they missed the gimme kick, right? The running back is approaching the end zone, drops the ball like this on accident. I really think it was an accident, right? I don't think he was showboating. Well, whatever it was, he was approaching the end zone, fumbles the ball, Auburn recovers, Auburn wins. All right. How? Who knows? The magic of Jordan hair. But end all be all, it was a pretty bad victory. Okay, cool. So, Bryan Harsin. I'm hearing every name in relation to the Auburn coaching vacancy but Bryan Harsin. And I think that's not, I don't think that's fair, right? Has he done some things that could have made the seat a little hotter than it has to be? Absolutely. Do I think he's a bad person? Absolutely not. I think he's a pretty cool guy. I've spoken with Harsin a few times. Every time I've spoken with him or seen him, and he spent some time with me, it was genuine. If it didn't feel forced, cool guy. I saw him in a couple of situations where he probably wasn't expecting to see somebody from the Auburn media. And I do say that lightly. I'm like a fledgling member of the Auburn media, but yeah, dig. So I see him out. He's cool. We have a good conversation, man. I tell him, like, hey, man, look, I give him a couple pointers about being in the South. He took well to it. I don't know if he really paid attention to it, but he smiled. He gave me some feedback. We talked. Cool. So I got nothing against Bryan Harsin at all. Okay. So everybody is taking the approach of like wailing on the man while he's down. I'm always like an advocate for the underdog. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to talk about how can Bryan Harsin save his job? How can Bryan Harsin go into 2023 as the Auburn head coach? Okay, cool. All right, number one, you cannot get blown out by one of the two teams, UGA or Bama. One of the two juggernauts in the SEC, our two biggest rivals. You can't get blown out by both. You got to play one of them close. Point blank, period. Whether it be Bama, preferably, right? Or UGA, you cannot get blown out. I'm not even saying he has to win. The talent gap between Bama, Georgia, and Auburn right now, top to bottom on the roster is large. I mean, like let's call a spade a spade. But I do think that in rivalry games, if you like last year, the talent gap was large, and Auburn should have beat Alabama last year. So I'm not saying that it's above the Tigers. They can't do it, but that's one of the things that has to happen in order for Bryan Harsin to save his job. Another thing is you got to get one of these wins on the road. You got to get Ole Miss, you got to get Arkansas, or you got to get Texas A&M. Maybe Texas A&M is at home, but let's say you got to win 1 out of 2, Ole Miss and Arkansas. Okay. More immediately, you got to find a way to beat LSU at home. You cannot let LSU come beat you at home. You got to find a way. So, 3 ways that Bryan Harsin can save his job. Just to start, beat LSU, okay? Don't get blown out by Bama and Georgia, okay? And thirdly, you got to split Arkansas and Ole Miss. You do those 3 things, you got an opportunity, all right? You got to get better in recruiting. I know for a fact that a lot of national sports media outlets are contacting high school coaches to find information on how Harsin recruits. I mean, it's just there. I talked to a guy the other day, just said Sports Illustrated just called him. Sports Illustrated just ran an article on this, and they're still calling. So you can't continue to give these outlets fuel for the fire, right? So I think on the J-Boy show, now Jake Crane, but the J-Boy show a couple years ago, I said, now shout out to Jake, man. That's my buddy, man. But a couple years ago, I said, hey, look, I'm not sure that Harsin enjoys recruiting as much as some of the guys in his competition. Like, and when I say enjoys it, like you got head coaches that make time to recruit. You got head coaches that, get on the phone. So, for example, 2 of the top guys in Alabama, I ask them, how have you talked to Kirby? Kirby calls pretty often. How have you talked to Coach Saban? Blows me up. How many times you talked to Coach Harsin? Twice. Okay, cool. So I'm not saying that, and it's been well documented that Coach Harsin likes to run his recruiting portion of his program like a CEO. He wants the recruiters to recruit, right? He wants the position coaches to recruit, because that's going to who's going to be spending the most time with you. So I understand that. But in the SEC and where Auburn is, Harsin has to have that connect with the players. If he can figure out how to flip a couple of guys, right? Have the leverage of a pretty good to great recruiting class, right? String of 7 to 8 wins with a couple of top 25 victories. I think Harsin can keep his job. Is that a tall task? Absolutely. It's Manute Bol tall. It ain't Sean Bradley. Too tall Jones. That's how tall it is. It's very tall. Now, tall. Give me another one. Who else is tall like that? Bowl. Yeah, it's a tall task, but do I think can it happen? Absolutely, especially when you factor in the magic of Jordan Hare. So hopefully they can get that ball rolling for the sake of Harsin's job. I think they can get that ball rolling against LSU. I'm not putting out a prediction at this point, but I will say that if it can happen anywhere, he can start to make those strides with a victory over LSU. It's going to be another huge recruiting weekend. Lay the egg against Penn State with a lot of highly ranked guys there. So, so I think this is where Harsin can kind of start to turn that around and, get some positive momentum. Another thing is, a lot of people are, I saw like after social media, so Auburn is celebrating the victory, and they're saying, man, that doesn't look good. They should have lost, and they're celebrating. And I'm like, man, you got to celebrate everything. I'm okay seeing that. You know why I'm okay seeing it? Because these kids see everything that we see. They hear everything that we hear. So an opportunity for them to celebrate together after a victory that they probably shouldn't have gotten. You got to take every chance to try to keep the team engaged, because right now you're fighting for your life every week. Every week. San Jose State, you were fighting for your life. Mercer, fighting for your life. So Auburn is fighting for their life on a week-to-week basis. They're not just going one-on-one. They're not trying to go 1-0 for the win-loss column. They're going 1-0 for the job security of the coaching staff. And that's a big thing. But yeah, that's my Auburn minute. First 10 minutes, we'll go Auburn. Let's see what else my executive producer, Hood Rich Joe, has for me. What up, Joe? What you got, Joe? Can the Falcons put some games together? Okay, so the Falcons got their first victory today. Shout out to the Dirty Birds. Can they put some games together? I do think that the Falcons can win about 8 to 9 games this year. I do think that they're playing a lot better defense. I think the scheme is good. I think that they're really good at keeping things in front of them and playing to their strengths and not their weaknesses. I think that Grady Jarrett is playing out of his mind right now. I think that A.J. Terrell will return to form. I think that Michael Walker will become a star. Absolutely. I think the Falcons have a lot to build on, and I think that they're such a scrappy bunch. They have gotten better since last year, right? Last year, I didn't think they would win 7 games. They did. How? I don't know. Their roster was pretty damn bad. It was pretty bad. And so for them to win the amount of games that they won last year, I think that they'll only get better. And I think that they should be 2-1 right now. There's no way they should have lost that game to the Saints, right? So they should be 2-1. I also think that they have the NFC South is a weaker division than it has been in years. For whatever reason, the Bucs don't look, and one of the main reasons is going to be health with the Bucs. Tom Brady doesn't have anybody to throw it to right now. Julio Jones is hurt. Mike Evans suspended. Chris Godwin hurt. So right now, today, your number one receiver was probably Rashad Perriman. No disrespect to the kid, but it's not what Tom Brady came and signed up for. You go from Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Rob Gronkowski to Rashad Perriman, Russell Gage, and Scotty Miller and Cameron Brate. Big difference. So, I think it's you can get a win, you can split with Tampa Bay. Feel like you can sweep the Panthers. I feel like you can salvage a sweep with the Saints. And I think if the Falcons can do those things, then they will end up winning maybe 8 to 9 games, maybe sneaking to the playoffs. But they have to continue to take care of the ball. Mariota's biggest issue with me has been the costly turnovers in big moments, especially in the fourth quarter. There's too many fourth quarter fumbles, turnovers, and you got to get that fixed, right, in order for you to continue to make progress as a football team as a whole. I'm not sure if Desmond Ridder is the answer yet. The backup quarterback is always the most popular guy in town, but unless you have a stud starter, right? But I think if Mariota can clean it up a little bit, find a way to get the ball to Kyle Pitts, first of all. Drake London has shown himself to be a really, really good first-round pick so far. Really excited about his development. So do I think the Falcons can string some games together? Absolutely. Do I think they can sneak into the playoffs? Absolutely. Do I think they will? That remains to be seen. Got a big test coming up this week against Cleveland. Cleveland's been playing pretty good. Good defense. They have a really good corner. They have a good pass rush. Jacoby Brissett has been surprising a lot of people, coming off a big victory against a rival, one of those AFC North rivalry games against the Steelers. So, yeah, they're coming in with some momentum. So, I do think the Falcons can pull it out, though. So, that'll be a litmus test for the Falcons season. If they can walk out of that Cleveland game 2-2, then I do think the Falcons could probably sneak into the playoffs. Just my opinion. What do I know? What you got for me, Joe? Let's see here. Let's go with so getting away from a little football. You know what? I'm going to come back to that one. Let's go. Did Lamar Jackson make a smart decision by not signing his extension in the offseason? Absolutely. Right now, right now, hindsight being 2020, we've seen what Lamar Jackson has done. He said he was going, if I'm Lamar Jackson right now, right, playing 3 games, I negotiate my contract now. It's coming off a 5-touchdown performance. You gotta go negotiate that contract tomorrow. I know he said, oh, well, I don't want to negotiate it during the season. I get it. I understand. You turn down a lot of money. You want guaranteed money. But if your whole goal is to get more guaranteed money, why would you continue to play on less of a guarantee? Your value will never be higher than it is today. A 5-touchdown performance. You're doing it. You're throwing the ball. You've made a number 1 receiver out of Rashad Bateman, who I think is very talented. And I do think that he's going to be a major part of the Ravens offense going forward. But why wouldn't you go negotiate it after you've proven through 3 games you are that guy, right? And a lot of people negotiate during the season anyway. Now, I'm not in Lamar's head, but if I'm Lamar Jackson, I go and I negotiate. Now, you've gambled enough. ACL, Lord forbid, an Achilles injury. People get hurt every moment. The ball is in your hands so much. You have so many opportunities. Not even talking about non-contact injuries, but just straight up, a guy comes in and hits you. You run on it the wrong way. You're very fast. You can, there's a lot there that worries me about this situation. But the fact that Lamar Jackson just has the fortitude just to say, you know what, I'm worth more than that. So until you guys pay me, I don't want to talk about it. And I commend him. I've always been the type person that was more so trying to stack the deck and make sure I had the guaranteed. Well, I know I've always been a believer in a bird in the hand is worth more than 2 in the bushes. But guys who believe that always only end up with the 1 bird in the hand. They never see if it's 2 in the bushes. So Lamar Jackson is going to the bushes. He's going to find out what's in those bushes. It might not even be 2 birds. It might be 5. It might be 6. So with Lamar Jackson taking that gamble on himself, I wouldn't have done it. I think it's time for him to go ahead and negotiate now. But hey, who am I? And I think that as long as he stays healthy, he'll be fine. I mean, what team is going to have a shot at Lamar Jackson next year and is not going to get an offensive coordinator to build an offense around him? And do you have to even build an offense around him at this point? He's showing you the arm, so yeah, I think that he'll be fine. Just stay healthy, and but if I'm him, once again, I like to reiterate: don't gamble anymore, man. Call your agent, call your people, call your team. Tell them you're ready to negotiate. You've got 3 games. I'm guarantee you the Ravens will have that done in 2 days. You got them right where you want them. Why tempt fate? Let's go ahead and just get it done, Lamar. I would. I guarantee they'll give you what you want, especially the way you've been playing through these first 3 games. Let's see what my boy Joe got. What you got, number 4, Joe? All right, let's go ahead and get it to. So the casual flex is also about culture. It's not just about sports. It's about pop culture, the community, and things that go on. So one of those stories that came out over the last week that kind of bleeds into both would be Ime Udoka and his suspension for alleged infidelity or violation of team rules as it came out, or however that goes. And I think the culture portion of it is, 1, how does he cheat on Nia Long, right? 2, how is this getting more coverage than Brett Favre stealing from the welfare authority in Mississippi, right? And 3, would this have happened if he was of a different race? So this is how I feel about all of it. 1, yes, Nia Long is beautiful. She's all world, but I don't know Nia Long. I don't know their relationship. You don't know, man. Nia Long could be crazy as two left shoes. Who knows, right? But, just as a man, as far as doing the right thing, being morally sound, if you don't want to be with him, leave him, right? Don't cheat. But I'm not Jesus and I'm not a judge. So at the end of the day, I can't judge his personal relationship on that portion. All I know is Ime Udoka, the basketball coach, and I know Nia Long, the actress. And I don't know how they get along with each other in real life. That's all we see. That's all we know. We know Ime Udoka, the basketball player, and to a greater extent now he's getting more recognition for being an excellent coach. And we know Nia Long, the actress. So we can't really make a determination. Like, I can't say he fumbled. Maybe she fumbled. Maybe she pushed him to it. I don't know. Like, I'm not automatically, where I am in my life, I'm not automatically siding with anybody on those type of disputes, right? You don't know what happened. If it comes out that Nia Long has been pushing him away, or maybe she's a Jada Pinkett type that we view as toxic, I don't know. So let's get away. I mean, I'm out of that one. Okay, cool. We don't know who's at fault. All right. Let's get away from that one. Let's tackle the media coverage. Brett Favre. Man, look, folks steal every day. Do I think there's a media bias is based on race? In this case, I think there's been media bias in the past, right? In this case, nah. You know why? Because they're going for the juicy news. What's drama? Like, the number one shows on TV now are reality TV shows, and all they do is what? Cuss, fuss, and go to brunch, pour alcohol on each other, fake fight, date each other baby mamas. Like, that's what sells. So the news is going up, like, the news is going to portray juicy news. The news, like, stuff that people are going to Google, people are going to go find out. A lot of the people that are talking about the Brett Favre thing, like, they're not going to find out the information. They're going off what's popular. They're going off of what they see. Oh, well, I don't hear about the Brett Favre stuff. I mean, at the end of the day, you're not going to hear about it. You heard about it already. But it's not the type of news that's going to make money. Like, so they're going to push, the news is going to push what makes money. That's the media's agenda, in my opinion. So do I think that it would have been different if he was a white man? Nah, I really don't. I think that had it been, let's say, if Greg Popovich was knocking down somebody in the Spurs organization, and they suspended him for a year, I think it would be huge news. If it was Pop, and I love Pop down, I love Pop, right? But, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I ain't trying to speak nothing on Pop, but if it was Popovich, do I think it would have been big news? Absolutely. I think it's just the nature of the news more so than, just a straight media bias. Now, there is media bias. Like, I'm not going to say it's not. I'm just saying in this case, I feel like they're two different cases. And I feel like if Ime Udoka, let's reverse roles. If Ime Udoka would have stolen $5 million in funds from somebody, it's not gonna be huge news. Like, people make, like, you know what I'm saying, like there's been some big time PPP loan fraud, and that stuff don't last long in the media. So what sticks is one of the most beautiful actresses, man, getting caught up in a cheating scandal. Like, man, right now, Adam Levine's DMs is like, he's flirting. He ain't even did nothing. Him flirting is making news right now. So, man, what I'm saying is, I feel like in our society, drama over everything. If it's some drama, if it's something that's gonna hurt somebody, if somebody feels some pain, if it's some cheating, if it's some sex involved, that's what's gonna sell more than anything. And I hate to say it, but it's the truth. All right, let's go with, and we're gonna wrap it up in a minute, man. First show, man, just getting back to the swing of things. Can the Braves, are the Braves more exciting now than they were in the 90s? Good question. So the Braves are a playoff team, the defending world champions. They just clinched. They've got a very young core. You've got 2 players that made the jump from AA this year, Vaughn Grissom and Michael Harris. You've got Ronald Acuna. You've got Ozzie Albies. You've got a veteran pitcher, Charlie Morton, still doing his thing. You got the young gun, Spencer Strider, who's probably going to be the rookie of the year, throwing 100-mile cheese. I don't know if they say that no more. Throwing heat, 100 miles an hour, right? You got a lot, and he's got the mustache, swagged out mustache. Gives you that Wild Thing type vibe from Major League back in the day. A lot to be excited about. Mike Soroka returning. The Braves hit tons of home runs. They can play both. They can play small ball too. You've got Ronald Acuna leading off, swagged out. He might hit you with the LeBron. He might hit you. He does a lot. It's an exciting game. You got Contreras coming out the Narcos, man. We beefing with the Nets over beefing with the Mets about the opening, right? About the walk-up song. There's a lot there, right? A whole lot. But man, this ain't the worst. The first I remember. I'm gonna show you my age. The gray shows it a little bit already, but let me show you my age. In '91, and if you're my age, when the Braves went to the World Series, it was incredible energy in Atlanta. Like I still remember, what's my man? You got Pendleton at third. You got Raphael Belliard in the platoon at second base with Lemke. Belliard could have been at shortstop as well behind Blauser. You got David Justice, Ron Gant, Otis Nixon, Greg Olson, the catcher, Steve Avery, the young lefty. I mean, it was just so much on that team that I still remember just going in the worst of first. I mean, it was just something that we hadn't really. We didn't recognize the Braves as national as world champions, and for us to see them in that light, it was probably the most exciting thing in Atlanta sports history at the time. Like the Hawks hadn't done anything like that, the Falcons hadn't done anything like that. The Bulldogs, Georgia hadn't been they hadn't won a national championship since 1980. So in the early 90s, that was the juice. The Braves had it. Like that's what it was. And as much as I love what the Braves are doing now, I think they're going to get more World Series. I think they can probably win 2 to 3 with this core, especially as they continue to develop the minor league system. I think they'll get more. But where they are right now, nah. As far as pure excitement, you got to give me the Braves in the 90s, dog. Starter jacket. The Braves starter jacket was so iconic, dog. Like it was like they had 2 of them, the pullover and the satin shiny one. That one, yeah, that one. Everybody had it, man. And Brian Hunter's another guy. I used to like Brian Hunter back in the day, but yeah, man. As far as pure excitement, yeah, I definitely got to go with the Braves. I think the Braves of the 90s. The Tomahawk Chop being introduced. Come on, dog. Deion bringing the Tomahawk Chop with him. Like, I mean, the 90s Braves, Deion going from playing in the Falcons to playing with the Braves, like 2 sports star. Like, it was the Deion shoes. I got a pair of them. What is it? I might got them here somewhere. I'm going to start doing the shoe. I'm going to start posting, start presenting shoes. We'll do a heat check every now and then. I'm really, really into shoes, as some of you may know. But definitely the Braves were more exciting. In my opinion, I would take the excitement of the Braves in the early 90s over what the Braves are doing right now, even though what the Braves are doing right now is absolutely incredible. Incredible. Alex Anthopoulos, I have it. What you've done in the front office for the Braves is beyond recognition. I mean, there's nothing I can say the way that you manage that roster to give you the proper kudos. I can't even put it into words. But as far as pure excitement, the 90s, dog. You could put me in the 90s on everything. Music, R&B, rap, whatever, Outkast, you name it. Give me the 90s, man. Fashion, 90s. Shoes, 90s. Man, even the 90s, man. I remember that first lemon pepper wing I ever ate, man. The 90s. Give me the Foot Rockers, the 90s. JJ's Rib Shack, the 90s. Give me the 90s, man. But yeah, man, and to close out, man, yeah, we 30-minute mark. That's cool. That's cool for a first go round. Yeah, so going forward, man, we got plenty of guests lined up, man. I'll be back just to talk more national news, but definitely we're gonna stay around the Southeast region. Probably dive into the Hawks a little bit next time. But before I get out of here, I wanted to dedicate this podcast and my first show and every show going forward to my mom. You see her right there, Linda Dukes. She passed away in January. We were really, really close. We talked about these moments about, following my dreams and finding my purpose. I've been successful at a lot of things in life. Anything I've ever tried to do. Me and one of my good friends, he always says, like, man, dude, you just got favored, dog. Like, whatever you tried to do, you can do it. And she passed away unexpectedly. She was in a car accident after last Thanksgiving and passed away. She succumbed to her injuries about a month later. So New Year's. And I just wanted to say, man, like, cherish your people, dog, because you never know. Like, you never know, man. And she was a great woman. Love her, miss her. And hey, Mom, this one for you, man. Casual Flex. All right, appreciate y'all. That's my time. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Dukes the Scoop. I'm out.